Hello, everybody. I'm Sleepy, and how is your day? Because now we've got another moveset idea, this time for Steve Engineer, and I'm excited to bring you this one. Steve Engineer is all about setting traps with redstone. Now, not everybody uses redstone in Minecraft, but its importance to the game is massive. Redstone makes Minecraft so much more complex and gives it nearly limitless replayability to those crafty enough to master it. And so I think it's very important to represent Redstone in this moveset. Um, he lacks kill power sometimes because most of his attacks aren't strong, but when everything goes according to plan, he can pull off some amazing things. I was mostly inspired by this moveset because I had a couple of really good ideas, and it just kept snowballing into a really fun moveset. Now, unlike all the other Steves, who use actual weapons, this one uses a redstone torch, which activates machines by hitting them. Um, Now we can move on to the animations because I didn't have much to say at this starting section. Just get to the animations. First of all, he looks like this. Pretty cool, right? The goggles are neat. For his entrance animation, he walks through an iron door. Now everybody knows iron doors are impossible to get through. Period. There's nothing about Redstone. It's just that he's a magic man and he can open doors, and I think that's very impressive. And for his up taunt, he holds up a redstone torch and it flickers on and off. This actually does affect your machines. It's not very helpful, but if you can make it work, you can make it work. That's the theme with this character is creativity. And here you have the option. But for his side taunt, he pulls out a Glock. Clock. I meant to write clock. He pulls out a clock and he checks the time. For his down taunt, he shows him crafting sticky pistons. Now, this doesn't actually do anything in your moveset. It just shows that he's a hard worker, and he's always working, even in his free time, when he has the time to taunt on you. The engineer is very fast to compensate for his low damaging normals and reliance on stage control. I won't go over the specifics because he's still very similar to the other Steves, but just know that he's slightly faster. Um, and with that, we can finally go into grounded normals. Now, Jab is not an average jab. Steve throws a handful of redstone dust a short distance in front of him to flinch opponents and deal minor damage. If it lands on the ground, it creates a 2-block trail of redstone dust that you can use later. So it's got decent range, and it's completely invaluable to your kit. It can be if it's attacked with anything, the redstone disappears. Um, but if you use your redstone torch moves and hit it, then you can activate it. Um, with F tilt is a simple swipe with the redstone torch. It can be angled up and down, so that's how you're gonna want to activate things on the ground. Up tilt is a bit strange. He faces forward and uses both hands to lift up a wooden trapdoor, and it's up and behind his head. It's kind of like Cloud's up smash, except he's smacking you with a trapdoor. It's strongest at the end when the trapdoor swings open. All other hitboxes send them up, except that the last one sends them horizontal and behind you. Down tilt is very weird because he places a pressure plate down in front of him, which can be used to activate machines. It doesn't do damage, it's purely for utility, and I don't think a down tilt has ever done that. Dash attack. Dash attack is similar to many characters like Mario's dash attack with the home run bat or other battering items, with way lower power and better frame data. And he uses the redstone torch so that he can hit things low to the ground. But next up, we have the smash attacks, which is always important. F smash is pretty wacky. He places an iron door down, which won't activate until it gets a redstone signal. When it activates, though, it has 2 hitboxes, where it swings open and slams shut when the signal ends. It's one of the stronger F smashes in the game, because of its setup. But you can walk past the door, and the door itself can be stood on, but it acts like a soft platform. So you can walk by it, it's not a wall, but it can still be stood on. So it's kind of interesting in that regard. Um, the door itself, no, that's it with the door, I think. It's just pretty good. Up smash is a fun move, even though it's pretty slow. It's one of his few raw kill moves. Uh, he holds a trapped chest with string hanging from the latch above his head, and he crouches in anticipation and fear like Isabelle during her forward smash. When you release the A button, he pulls the string and the chest violently pops open with an explosion. And that's just fun. Down smash is refreshingly simple compared to those weirdo moves. He crouches and quickly uses the redstone torch to attack on both sides of him. Now we finally have grabs, and next up is aerials. But the grab is a standard grab, and he still punches, and he just punches you in the face with the fist, punch towards the face, and that's the pummel. Down throw makes him smack your head with the redstone torch. He hits you up, and you go pop a little bit up. It's very weak, but it's a fantastic combo throw, except that his moveset doesn't allow for diverse combos outside of just down throw fair. So, up throw is the best and coolest looking throw. He takes a step back and activates a lever with his foot. The ground beneath the opponent then shoots up and launches them. It's his most consistent kill option at 130. F throw is simple. He just picks them with one hand and tosses them. He throws them rather low to the floor, which helps to throw them onto pressure plates, though. Back throw is basically just Rob's back throw, like the others, because I'm bad. And Nair is almost like a jab, because Nair, he scatters redstone dust, which falls down a few blocks. However, Steve scatters the dust one block forward and one block behind him, so he can cover more stuff. He can cover more stuff. And fair, this is very important. Fair is undoubtedly his best move. Its utility is the glue of his kit, and without it, I couldn't give him half the wacky stuff he has. It's really simple. He just pulls out the redstone torch, and he swings down quickly. It's like Sheik's Fair. It spaces, it combos, and most importantly, it powers your traps. It's really, you just want to spam this thing every time you get the opportunity to, because it's just that good, even though it doesn't kill. But up air does kill. Up air is a piston attack where Steve lifts a piston over his head and it extends. It has pretty good kill power and range, but it lacks speed. Bear is the same thing as fair, but it's slightly stronger because you need fair to be behind you as well for his kit to work. Dare is the same as up air, except even more satisfying because it spikes. Now, both up air and down air are helpful for being the only decent moves that won't power other machines, so you can destroy redstone with up air, down air, and that's very helpful. Shield special. We get to the special moves. Shield special. This one is not complicated because this Steve has more things he can place down than the Enchanter Steve, so I think it's only fair to let him see the grid like Builder Steve does. However, the way they work is different. Steve's grid is mapped to down B because it's a more interactive move where he places he presses B to place blocks far away from himself. You don't have as much control over the Engineer's placement. So it's more of a passive shield special. Engineer pulls out a blueprint. He looks at it and then he puts it away. This puts the grid overlay on the stage for the next 30 seconds and can be instantly canceled whenever you want. Now, this doesn't mean you can't just place things without looking at the blueprint, because you still can. The grid is always there. It's just that you can see it with Shield Special. I just thought that it was important to know precisely where blocks snap to, because your up B snaps into place wherever the nearest block is, and that's important. So, neutral B, next up, has Steve place a piston in front of him. It can be placed mid-air, too. However, there's a catch. Normally, pistons will stick around forever or until you break a third one. However, if you place one off stage, then it has a time limit until it breaks. The closer the block is to the blast zone, the less time it takes to break away. It will always face forward, but you can quickly press B multiple times to just punch it and makes the piston change direction. Kind of like the item frame. And as far as the piston's damage, it deals 10% and has really good knockback scaling. Sidebeat has in place a dispenser right in front of him. When it receives signal, it fires a fire charge. Now, I really wish that Mojang would hurry up and add shulker charges into Minecraft, because I really want to make people float into the air, and that would be very cool. But aside from my wants, up B is a sticky piston with a slime block attached. It goes a little farther than Banjo's and can be aimed in 4 directions. You will enter freefall afterwards, but it's easy to like edge cancel if you go sideways. So it's a good movement option. But up B is similar to neutral B in some ways, but gains a lot of unique applications. Even though they're both pistons, you don't want to use them the same way. First of all, the slime block gets broken. If the slime block gets broken, which it breaks instantly, uh, don't worry, because the piston still holds. The piston is still there, even if the block gets broken. You need to destroy both of them if you want to get rid of it completely. Next up, it has a special property because I wanted it to constantly be moving up and down, like it does if you apply a redstone clock to it. But I can't really do that because there's no space. And there's no way to make a clock with one block. So I kind of took some creative liberties and added a special gadget glued to the side of it that doesn't technically exist in the game. I needed a redstone clock in order to make it constantly move up and down, but there's no way to do that, so sorry. He crafted a new item. It can be hung on the piston like an item frame, and when given a redstone signal, it starts flickering in and out to power the machine. Um, as far as appearance, it's like a modified gold clock, but with a circuit inside of it instead of a day-night symbol. Um, it's I don't know. I felt like I needed to explain it because pistons don't usually go up and down forever. But this one does. So, well, it has some interesting interactions you can have with the rest of your moveset now that it's constantly active. For instance, the fireball from side B will ricochet after hitting the slime block, and it still keeps the momentum that we talked about. So, that allows you to snipe people out of the air or anywhere because you can place the piston in different directions, and that would just look really cool. And I can't wait to see that. Never, because it's not actually real, but it would be cool. Come on, agree with me. It's really cool. Down B. Down B is obviously the TNT. You place it in front of you, and you can detonate it with redstone or fire. You only have one TNT block on screen at once. Since it breaks instantly, it would be a little too easy to deal with, so if an opponent breaks it, it will explode. Obviously, TNT is strong, because why should it not be strong? And it would also be like one of his best moves, I think, because there's so many ways to set up into TNT because of its big explosion radius. It'd be so much fun to use. I just want this character to be real. But finally, we have the Smash, the final of the Smash, and it's a command block, not something you can get in the game normally, but heavily tied to redstone. I would argue that it's the strongest of all the Steve Final Smashes. It has several base commands. This is, by the way, very, very complicated, so I'll do my best to explain it, and hopefully you guys get it. But it has several base commands that, after inputted, need one extra command input to specify how it's used. This makes it very hard to use, but there are specific button combinations that you have to memorize, and you only get a couple seconds before it disappears, so it takes practice, much like how you don't know how the command blocks work when you first see them or try to use them. You have to know how it works before you can even get anywhere with them. So, you only get a couple seconds, and if you get it wrong by the end, nothing happens. Imagine a final smash where there's just a possibility that nothing happens. That'd be pretty. Sorry, bud. The 4 base commands correspond with the directions, up, down, left, right. These inputs are long, and there's no way of knowing them without looking it up. Unless, if you don't press anything until the end, it will automatically become /help. This command lists all the inputs of the next 4 base commands, which is just, it tells you have to press up, down, left, right. And if you do that again after pressing that, then if you press nothing in one of the 4 base commands, then it tells you the next step of the base commands. Like, for example, if you press backwards is /freeze, the easiest one. It only has one version, AAAAB, which freezes all players for 8 seconds. And that, if you don't do anything after pressing back, then it'll tell you the combination. So that'll work for all 4 directions. Forward is /summon, the most versatile command, and it doesn't just use 2 buttons. The first summon is a charged creeper, but I wish I didn't give Builder Steve those spawn eggs in creative mode, since they kind of overlapped here. So just pretend he doesn't have those anymore. I retcon it in my moveset canon. So he now summons these creatures, like this charged creeper. This one's extra tricky to deal with in Smash because creepers can explode regardless of whether or not it's being comboed. So I'd advise just staying away. The input is A B A B Y. Next summon is a skeleton. Not just any skeleton either, a spider jockey. You have a really annoying mob that constantly pesters you with arrows, and it gets to ride a super quick and agile spider that climbs walls. That's so fun. But yeah, the input is YBYABYY. Uh, so, yeah, good. That's just do that in 2 seconds. Easy. Well, this one actually is fairly easy, but they get harder. The next one is also a jockey, a chicken jockey. The baby zombie hits very hard, but the chicken's the real monster. The chicken can freely fly and move so damn fast. Just kill it quickly, please. Ugh, I hate these things. And they're not even real. They haunt my nightmares. Um, but moving on from that, I don't want to think about that thing anymore. Finally, the ultimate monster summon, the Ender Dragon. It's a semi-clone of Rathalos, but with less moves. He mostly just dives at you and shoots lingering poison. One major difference, though, is that he can go through the stage freely. The input is XBXAYBBXY. Oh, that was a long one. Don't worry, they get shorter. With the next one, which is up, the up direction, / teleport. There are two. One is super easy, all you have to do is press up again. This will send you to the middle of the screen. This is just in case you're caught too far off stage for its up B, because let's be fair, his up B is not very good for recovering. So, if you're off stage and you would rather survive than risk one of these crazy commands, then you should just press up. The next teleport is really good. It's AXYXAB down. This will teleport everyone except you under the stage. It works on any stage. Even on something like the boxing ring, you'll be teleported under the floor, where you might not be able to recover. But the biggest weakness is that good enough recoveries make it worthless. Try gimping Isabel. We'll see how that goes. Next up is finally /kill. That's right. He has a move that kills everyone. No exceptions. Doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter if you're intangible. Doesn't matter anything. You just die. Sounds crazy, right? But the input is hard enough to justify it. The input, write this down, is ABXYBAAABYX. Sorry. Let me say that one more time. ABXYBAAABYX. Yeah, good luck with that. To play this character, you have to be kind of a genius and spend all your time practicing this guy. But the reward is the most flexible moveset out there. He can accomplish so much as long as you're creative. So I think he's a wonderful character. Please share your thoughts on this beautiful Tinkerer and join me next time for the final Steve moveset. This has been good. I'm gonna go take a nap.